I think one of the biggest questions, like I said, I think one of the biggest questions a lot of fans have is, even though the theme, or as it seems to be, the theme for Season 9, the final season, is goodbye, farewell, is exactly how is it going to be utilized, especially as we approach the very last episode. And that is a good question. Some fans are theorizing how it will be done. How will it become about? And even though, as I mentioned in my live thoughts and discussion on the latest trailer, that episode 200 pretty much spoiled the outcome of the two-part premiere, still people wonder what's going to happen next. And again, it's a good question. A lot of answers and revelations have to be acknowledged. Loose ends have to be tied up. But there's a lot of things, if one notice, that have been building to certain crescendos as we approach this last season. One of the biggest examples is Big Mac and Sugar Bell. A lot of people are speculating that this could be it. And the reason I bring that up, and the reason people point that out, is because you put these two together towards the end of Season 7, you give them an episode in Season 8, and now that we're in the final season, it seems like it's only appropriate that you close the chapter by going in a direction or taking the logical next step with them. And that logical next step would be to marry them off. But will that be saved to the last episode? Will that be incorporated in the second half somehow, even before the last episode? We don't know. All we know is that this is one of the things, one of the moments, one of the story arcs, if you will, that does probably, if not most likely, tie in to the theme of farewell and goodbye for the last season. But there are other speculations as well. One of the speculations is, what about Maud Pie and Mudbriar? Could they be in the same situation? And I would say they are. But how will they handle them? And then, on top of that, what about Spike? I just read something at the MLP forums, and someone bringing up the idea that Spike might be the one that goes away, that might say farewell, because of the fact that things are changing, and that maybe some other dragon or creature may need his help or his guidance. And that's a possibility too. You see, there's a lot of things that throughout the series, especially the later seasons, that have been building up to probably be tied up, finalitied, completed as we approach this last season. I mean, you take a look at the fact that Rainbow Dash is now in the Wonderbolts. Rarity has her 3 boutiques. Applejack is pretty much going to be left in charge of running the family farm. Things like that. Fluttershy might be doing her own thing with her animal sanctuary and even Discord. The list goes on. Pinky, she might stay loyal to Twilight and stay by her side. We don't know. A lot of questions need to be answered as we approach this last season, and I look at a lot of the moments that have happened over the past several seasons as pretty much a hint that certain things may occur. One of the hints as far as Rainbow Dash is concerned is she might be elevated up to captain of the Wonderbolts. Like maybe like maybe Spitfire will decide to step down and hand over the reins and leadership of the Wonderbolts to Rainbow Dash. That could be one way for Rainbow Dash, probably at the end, to go her separate way. Rarity opening up a new boutique that would be outside of Equestria, and her having to spend time more there than in the other ones, leaving the other ones in the hands or the hoofs of those she knows can run them, and those that she can trust. That's something that could potentially happen. Rarity could get, like I said, a boutique in another part of Equestria that's far away that would need her attention. So she could end up leaving the Canterlot Boutique to Sassy Shores. She could leave the Manhattan one to Coco Parmel. She can leave Ponyville's boutique to her sister, believe it or not. There's a lot of situations that could happen if Rarity was to get another boutique outside of Equestria that would need her attention. And don't be surprised that perhaps, as the series says farewell, and as a possible, let going, if you will, don't be surprised if Spike goes with Rarity. Because even though they may not go all the way and indicate that they're more than just friends, Spike being with Rarity at the end, even as she opens up this new venture, maybe this new boutique around these new boutiques around the world, that in a sense could indicate that they're going to be together for a long time. And then you take a look at Fluttershy. She's now opening animal sanctuaries, and she's basically being indicated to develop something more than just a friendship with Discord. And who's to say, that won't be her send-off at the end. Applejack focusing more now on the fact that she has to keep the family business running, and her brother possibly leaving to live in the village or close to the village of where Sugar Bell's at. These are all moments that when you think about how they're being portrayed and how they're being built up and stuff, some of us may say that Rarity getting 3 boutiques, Rainbow becoming a Wonderbolt, a lot of us may say that's the end of their chapters, it's the end of the stories, but we are wrong. Those are just the tip of the iceberg of what could be the finality. The point is, there's a lot of moments that have happened throughout this series for these characters that, to me, is just the tipping of the iceberg, and this last season is when it all comes together. It's when it all comes together, and we finally get finality to a lot of them, and in ways maybe we expect and we don't expect. But that's all I can really say on it, guys. What do you think would be the final farewells, the loose ends that get tied up? How do you see any of the main 6, main 7 if you will, main 8 if you want to call it, wrapping up those stories finally in this final season? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later.